Today is Sunday, April 27th. This is the 1966 Oldsmobile Delta 88 and of course Starfire and Dynamic 88 tilt and telescopic steering column for my friend Lewis in Denmark. This is the sixth and final video of the fully assembled embodiment, and I'm going to be doing a functional validation test. This unit was completely disassembled as shown in the 5 predecessor videos, including the supplemental videos, whereby all the metal components were taken down to bare metal, climatized with a corrosion-resistant surface treatment in terms of the primary shaft, the upper yoke, and the shifting tube. The outer components, such as the top cover head, the shifting collar, and the primary body tube, were painted in the original number 42 interior green for 1966 Oldsmobile Delta 88. And the turn signal switches, of which there's 2. There's the mechanical turn signal switch internally and the electrical turn signal switch, and the 2 of them in unison provide the signaling and feature functions for the directional lighting, which we'll be doing as a functional electrical validation test here shortly. So we'll be testing the electricals. We'll be testing also the 5 degrees of freedom, or 5 different tilt positions for the tilt feature, and the infinite movement of the telescopic neck, whereby you tie it down quarter of a turn and it fixably constrains in place right here in front where I'm pulling, right? It's fixably constrained in place, and a quarter turn counterclockwise, and it's free flowing, whereby you can adjust it and lock it into any height that you desire. And now it's constrained. Loosen it, free flowing, fully down, tightened up, fully constrained. So that's the telescopic feature. Before I do the tilt, which will be the final kinematic test, we're going to test the electricals first. So I'm going to go ahead and apply power to the power feed. This unit has a rebuilt cancellation cam, a replacement C retainer clip, and of course the internal mechanical turn signal switch has also been fully restored. All the bearings have been changed in terms of the upper head bearing, the mid-location tilt located bearing, and the bottom bearing at the shaft. Okay, so I've connected the power. I'm going to go ahead now and pull the signal downwardly as if I was making a left-hand turn, and we'll be looking for the light bulb to come on down here. And I touch the left front, left rear, left front, left rear. If I touch the rights, nothing happens because we're in left-hand mode. Okay, so left front, left rear. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate this a quarter of a turn as if I was completing my turn as a driver, and we'll be looking for the cancellation cam to bring the turn signal lever back to the neutral position. And it does so. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and lift the arm upwardly, indicative of a right-hand turn, and we'll touch the right-hand wires and look for the light bulb to come on down here. And right-hand front, right-hand rear, right-hand front, right-hand rear, and if I touch the left, nothing happens because we're in right-hand mode. So right rear and right front, right rear. And again, I'll turn a quarter of a turn, and we see the lever go back to the neutral position. So we've tested the electricals, and now the last part, which is a little difficult to do on a bench because the unit is not constrained in place, is we're going to do the tilt feature. And this is the tilt lever. I'm going to move my, by the way, in Oldsmobile we have a red tipped a shifter needle. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful of that. I'm actually going to move it out of the way a little bit like that. Okay, that's held in place with a single set screw that is a 7/32 Allen key. So you can position that linearly and radially wherever you need. Tighten it down so that it shows up in the instrument cluster. So right now we're in the neutral position. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the lever, and we are at full up, partial up, neutral, and we can see the conical bowl here that is a polished brushed finish, indicative of an Eldorado George steering column restoration. That's partial down. Okay, now we'll be doing a full down. There we go, and that's the full down position. As I said, it's a little difficult to do on a bench since we're not tied onto the car. And now we'll go back to neutral. There we go. So those are the 5 degrees of freedom, or 5 positions. 5 degrees of freedom if you're an engineer, 5 positions if you're a driver. And this is George in Florida. We've tested all the electricals. We've tested the 5 position, 5 degrees of freedom on the tilt feature. We tested the infinite movement and locking of the telescopic neck. All the electricals are tested except for the horn. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this back a little bit so that we can connect to the black wire, which is for the horn, which I've gone ahead and plugged into the 8th position of the 9-pin arc connector. Okay, and that comes up all the way to the mechanical turn signal switch. So here in front we have these copper connectors right here. So this plastic device, which I've rebuilt as a cast repair and made it stronger, 200 thousandths thick, which is shown and depicted in one of the supplemental videos that I've done. From the factory, this is a very delicate piece. It becomes increasingly more fragile as it ages because it's plastic, so all plastics are petroleum-based products which become brittle with age. So I used a urea epoxy material and cast this unit, and I made it 200 thousandths thick as opposed to only 100 thousandths thick, so it's much stronger than the original. So we have a copper ring all the way around that facilitates electrical continuity to a plunger, which was shown in a supplemental video if you want to look at that and understand how the mechanics work. And we have these copper tabs right here, and once I touch those we can see the light bulb coming on. Okay, so we'll be looking here and we'll be looking here in both locations, and I'll go ahead and touch the copper connector and the light bulb comes on. I'll touch the other one because there's 3. That's number 2, and now number 3. Okay, and that is indicative of the horn working. And the way the configuration is in the final assembly in the vehicle, you have your steering wheel, you have a back cover, and on the back cover of the telescopic variant of a steering wheel, you have a cover that covers the 3.5 inches of travel of the telescopic neck. And in that cover is embedded a very large conical spring, and that conical spring touches these 3 tabs, and no matter where you are in the telescopic movement, the expanding and contracting of the large conical spring is always providing full electrical continuity to these 3 contact points. So therefore, you're always having your horn working no matter where you are in your telescopic location and no matter where you are in your rotation because of the copper ring on the cancellation cam. So this plastic piece in front provides 2 feature functions: the cancellation of the turn signal levers to bring the lever back to neutral once the turn is completed. It provides that function, and it also provides the electrical continuity for the horn at a 360 rotation, as well as the infinite travel of the 3.5 inches of linear movement for the telescopic adjustment. Okay, so this is George in Florida. Today is April 27th. This will be going to my friend Lewis in Denmark as soon as I get his okay to ship, reply confirmation. I have over 375,000 original vintage General Motors items specific to Cadillac, and increasingly the Oldsmobile people have discovered me, and this is probably the 12th Oldsmobile column that I've done, half of which have been Delta 88, Starfire, Dynamic 88 variants identical to this, and the other half have been Tornados. So although I'm primarily Cadillac and Cadillac Eldorado in everything that I do, hence my name Eldorado George, we're now being discovered by the Oldsmobile people. So there you go. So this is a level 10 complete restoration. This is the final functional validation test, and this will be shipping out to my friend Lewis in Denmark. This is George in Florida. I'm best known for my restoration of the steering wheels, the tilt and telescopic steering columns as depicted in this video here, the power seat mechanisms, the instrument clusters, power door locks, air conditioning components such as the power servos, the AC programmers and the in-dash climate controllers, and other critical hard-to-source original vintage General Motors items. Today is Sunday, April 27th. Thank you very kindly.